Whoa! Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a tough challenge facing farmers across the U.S. black bears raiding farmland. These powerful animals are ripping through crops, leaving behind millions of dollars in losses and threatening the livelihoods of hardworking families. With bear numbers on the rise and their natural food supply shrinking, the conflict between wildlife and agriculture is escalating fast, turning life in rural communities upside down. Stick around as we break down this growing crisis, explore what's driving it, and look at the impact on everyday people. And if you enjoy content like this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. All across America, farmers are facing a growing menace. Black bears tearing through their fields and destroying valuable crops. Every year, more than 30,000 bear-related incidents are reported, leaving behind a trail of damage that adds up to millions of dollars in losses. Now imagine putting months of sweat and dedication into your farm, only to wake up and find the harvest wiped out overnight. Hungry and always searching for easy meals, these bears can flatten acres of crops in a single night. In one shocking case from the eastern U.S., an entire 50-acre cornfield was completely devastated in just 3 days, leaving the farmer with nothing but broken stalks and heartbreak. Even after spending thousands on a 6-foot electric fence, one farmer could only watch in frustration as black bears tore right through his defenses. Security cameras recorded over 20 break-ins in a single night, and the damage was devastating. More than $60,000 in losses. Entire crops, costly seed, fertilizer, hours of labor, and even future profits were wiped out in a matter of days. But black bears aren't just powerful, they're remarkably intelligent and persistent. Farmers nationwide have tried everything from high-voltage fencing to motion alarm noise cannons, only to learn these predators adapt fast. They find weak spots, crawl under barriers, or scale fences with surprising ease, proving time and again that outsmarting a hungry bear is no simple task. Once black bears break through, the destruction is swift and overwhelming. Their sheer size and power can level acres of crops within hours, leaving farmers to face staggering losses. In many rural areas, controlled hunting has become one of the few effective tools to keep populations in check. But hunting these animals isn't easy. It demands patience, skill, and a deep understanding of the wild. Veteran hunters must push through dense forests, climb steep ridges, and endure the unforgiving terrain for days or even weeks at a time. Black bears, armed with sharp senses and an uncanny ability to disappear into the wilderness, turn every pursuit into a high-stakes challenge, a true test of endurance, strategy, and grit. To keep black bear hunting sustainable, state wildlife agencies rely on strict, science-driven regulations. Seasons are set with precision. Spring hunts target bears emerging lean and hungry from hibernation, while fall hunts coincide with their frenzied foraging before winter. These carefully timed windows help control populations without tipping the scale toward overharvesting. By maintaining this balance, officials protect both healthy bear numbers and the fragile ecosystems they inhabit. But black bear hunting is about more than just population control. It serves as a vital tool for conservation, farmland protection, and public safety. Each year, agencies authorize the harvest of roughly 700 to 1,300 bears, enough to prevent overpopulation and reduce human-wildlife conflicts, while still safeguarding the long-term health of the species and the land they roam. So the real question is this: is hunting truly the best answer? Or should we be looking at other ways to manage black bear populations? We'd love to hear what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and make sure to stick around for more content coming your way. Many people assume bears show up in towns only because their forests are shrinking, natural food is scarce, or their populations have bounced back through conservation efforts. While all of that plays a role, there's another overlooked reason: human carelessness. Campers and hikers often leave behind food scraps, and those leftovers don't go unnoticed. Bit by bit, bears have come to associate people with easy meals. That's why they're no longer shy about raiding cornfields, ripping into beehives, toppling garbage cans, and in some cases, even attacking livestock. If you enjoy stories like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss the next adventure. In some places, bears have grown so bold that they break into homes, putting not only farmers and their livelihoods at risk, but also the safety of entire communities. Encounters like these are no longer rare. They're a real concern for anyone living near bear country. To address the problem, wildlife officials across North America have introduced carefully regulated hunting programs aimed at controlling populations and reducing damage. On one of these hunts, we set out a bait pile of grain, honey, and salmon, a combination no bear can resist. By midday, the warm breeze carried the sweet, fishy scent deep into the forest, calling to any hungry predator nearby. I took a position about 60 yards out, nestled behind a wall of brush and fallen timber, my .30-06 steady on the bipod. As the last light of day stretched long shadows across the forest floor, a massive bear emerged. It moved with caution, nose lifted, testing the air as it followed the bait scent. My pulse quickened. I forced myself to steady my breathing, finger poised on the trigger, waiting for that single, flawless shot. Bear hunting is never a one-man job. These animals are powerful, unpredictable, and demand both respect and teamwork. I was part of a three-man crew, led by Craig, a seasoned hunter with years in the Wyoming backcountry. We trekked along a rugged ridge, snow clinging to the rocks as the crisp air carried the bite of sage and ice. After a grueling 3-hour climb, Craig's sharp eyes locked onto a grizzly, a hulking shadow with a bronze coat shimmering in the fading light, stalking prairie dogs across the slope. We slipped into position behind a cluster of boulders, closing the distance to just 270 yards. My first shot cut through the thin mountain air and struck true. The grizzly let out a thunderous roar, rearing up in defiance, before a second round found its mark just behind the shoulder. At last, the giant collapsed, its immense body still radiating untamed power, its claws catching the fading light like sharpened steel. Far from the high ridges, in the growing suburbs of eastern Wyoming, black bears have become bold intruders. They wander into hayfields and feed lots as if they belong there, leaving a trail of damage that the U.S. Department of Agriculture estimates at nearly $5 million a year. Determined to track one down, I relied on an ATV and a drone, following its movements across the open range for 2 days. At dawn, I finally spotted it, a dark silhouette against the windbreak near a weathered fence, the morning light outlining its sleek, restless form. Using a patch of brush for cover, I eased forward until I was within 150 yards. The bear paused, sniffing the air before rising on its hind legs and locking eyes with me. I squeezed off a single shot that pierced its lung. It charged forward in a final burst, kicking up dust, before collapsing just a few yards away. But not every encounter ends with a clean kill. One late afternoon from a tree stand, I spotted a bear wander into view, this time far too close for a safe shot. My heart hammered as I froze in place, but a sudden shift in the wind gave me away. The bear's head jerked up, its dark eyes meeting mine. It circled beneath me, growling low, while I gripped my rifle, every muscle on edge. Then a sharp crack of a branch startled the animal, and it tore off into the brush. I had broken one of hunting's golden rules: never let a bear get that close. Shaken but grateful, I climbed down, frustrated at the mischance but relieved to walk away unharmed. On Alaska's rugged Kenai Peninsula, I joined a veteran guide for a hunt along a salmon-fed river. We pitched camp near a bend famous for spawning runs, where the air was heavy with a mingled sense of pine and fish. Hours passed in tense silence until a massive grizzly thundered through the shallows, its fur glittering with scales as it hauled a writhing salmon onto the bank. With my rifle braced on the bipod, I tracked the bear's every move. When the timing was perfect, I squeezed the trigger, sending a round just behind its ear. The giant dropped instantly, a powerful reminder of both the hunt's precision and Alaska's raw, untamed beauty. Yet controlled hunts like this remain controversial. For some, they're a vital tool to manage exploding bear populations. For others, they cross a moral line. The debate is far from settled. I'd love to hear what you think. Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more stories on wildlife management and conservation. Every scene in this video was filmed under local laws and with respect for ethical hunting practices. Welcome to Leopard Farm, where adventure is always just around the corner. But bears aren't the only challenge we face. Out on the edge of town, my buddy Ballman has been battling a different menace. Wild boars have been storming through his fields like living tornadoes, tearing up crops and threatening his livelihood. Watching his hard work vanish overnight lit a fire in me to help. With rifles in hand, hounds at our side, and a crew of local hunters ready for action, we set out into the rugged mountains, knowing this hunt was going to be anything but ordinary. The forest was no easy ground to cover, but our dogs, loyal, sharp, and fearless, took the lead. Their barks split the stillness of the mountains, signaling trouble ahead. We pressed deeper through tangled underbrush until their frantic howls locked onto a massive wild boar. With steady hands and years of hard-earned experience, I lined up the shot and dropped the beast where it stood. But even without the dogs, the land spoke to us. A faint whiff of musk, a patch of freshly torn earth. Those were the signs that made every nerve sharpen. And sure enough, deep in the mountains, another danger erupted. A huge boar burst from the brush, charging with raw fury. My instincts took over. I raised my rifle, squeezed the trigger, and hit a vital spot. The beast staggered, still driving forward for a few terrifying moments, but I knew it wouldn't make it much farther. As the crew spread out to track fresh sign, I caught sight of another boar crashing through the brush. I radioed Delvet, and his sharp eyes locked onto the fleeing animal. One well-placed shot dropped it, sending the beast tumbling down the hillside in a cloud of dust. The rush of the hunt was electric, but danger never stayed far away. Moments later, a third boar charged straight at me. Instinct took over, I squeezed the trigger, and the animal collapsed mid-stride. It was another unforgettable chapter in a hunt I'll never forget. Yet even in the heat of the chase, our crew never loses sight of responsibility. Every outing is carried out within legal seasons and designated zones. For us, hunting isn't just about adrenaline. It's about protecting balance in the wild and ensuring our passion honors the land and animals we depend on. Tucked into southwestern Turkey, Mugla Province is known for its stunning beaches and rugged mountain ranges that attract travelers from across the globe. But behind the postcard views lies a growing crisis: exploding wild boar population. In the past year alone, these animals destroyed more than 300 hectares of farmland, leaving local farmers desperate for relief. Because pork is rarely eaten in Turkey, boar numbers have skyrocketed without natural control, pushing hunting groups like ours to step in and help restore balance. Deep in the western mountains of Mugla, one of the region's most notorious boar strongholds, we took our positions. Rifles steady and eyes locked on the tree lean. We didn't have to wait long. A massive boar burst through the brush at full speed, forcing our hearts to race with it. Adrenaline surged as we gave chase, and with a single well-placed shot, we brought down our first trophy of the day. The forest erupted into chaos. Dogs barking, boars squealing, and gunfire cracking through the trees in a raw, heart-pounding rhythm. One after another, we dropped massive beasts as they crashed through the brush like something out of an ancient legend. From a lower ridge, I caught sight of a towering alpha boar breaking away. I steadied my breathing, lined up the sights, and with a single precise shot, sent it tumbling to the ground, clear testament to our skill and determination. Wild boars are breeding machines, producing litters of 6 to 12 piglets year-round, fueling an unchecked population boom. The consequences are devastating. Experts estimate they cause as much as $80 million in crop losses annually. That's why our hunts, carried out with the support of local authorities, are more than just tradition. They're part of a larger effort to curb this destructive force and restore balance to the land. In one heart-stopping instant, a massive boar charged straight at us, its tusks flashing like weapons in the fading light. My first shot staggered it, but the beast refused to stop. Forcing myself to stay calm, I squeezed the trigger again, and the second round finally brought it crashing down. The danger was real. Our adrenaline surging from the close call, but instead of rattling us, it only hardened our resolve. For newcomers to the hunt, one rule stands above all: never go it alone. Too many things can go wrong, and the risks are far too high. Later that same day, I spotted a full-grown boar rooting in the open. Years of training steadied my hand as I leveled the sights and took the shot. One calm, deliberate pull of the trigger, and the animal dropped instantly.